Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I'm Mr. Potato, here to share an intriguing piece of history with you. Today we're heading back to the 80s, to a town called Kirkby-in-Ashfield. But we're not here for nostalgia, we're here to unravel a mystery that left a mark on this town, the Hollinwell incident. A tale that's as perplexing as it is fascinating. So put on your detective hats, folks, as we dive into the curious case of the Hollinwell incident. The date is July 13th, 1980, in the small town of Kirkby in Ashfield, Nottinghamshire, England. Nestled in the heart of the country, Kirkby-in-Ashfield is a quaint community, known for its coal mining history and friendly locales. Sunlight filters through the leaves of the trees, casting dancing shadows on the streets below. It's a day of excitement and anticipation, as the town is abuzz with a special event, a marching band competition. Children from various schools have gathered, their faces flushed with the thrill of competition and camaraderie. Their uniforms, crisp and neat, glisten under the sun. Their instruments, polished to a shine, gleam with promise. The air is filled with the sweet melody of brass and woodwind, the rhythmic pulse of percussion. Little did these young musicians know this was not going to be an ordinary band competition. As the brass notes filled the air, something strange began to happen. The jovial atmosphere of the Hollinwell showground, once filled with laughter and music, took a sudden and eerie turn. It was the 13th of July, 1980, a day that would etch itself into the memory of Kirkby-in-Ashfield, not as a day of joy, but as a day of confusion and terror. Children, donned in their bright uniforms, were in the middle of their performances when the first signs of trouble began to appear. One by one, they started to collapse, their faces pale, their bodies limp. The music faltered, then fell silent, replaced by the sounds of gasps and cries of alarm. Spectators watched in disbelief as the scene unfolded. Parents rushed to their children's sides, their faces etched with worry and fear. Volunteers and organizers scrambled, trying to make sense of the inexplicable situation. The joyous cheers of minutes ago were replaced by a deafening silence, punctuated only by the occasional cry of a child or the frantic calls for help. The medical staff on site were quickly overwhelmed. No one could provide a clear explanation for the sudden illness that had gripped the children. Theories started to fly, ranging from food poisoning to a gas leak, but nothing could be confirmed in the midst of the chaos. As the minutes ticked away, the situation grew increasingly dire. More and more children were falling to the ground, their strength sapped, their eyes glazed over. The once bustling showground now resembled a battlefield, with fallen soldiers strewn across its length and breadth. Within a short time, an alarming number of children were falling ill. The incident at Hollinwell was unfolding into one of the most mysterious and terrifying events in the history of Kirkby-in-Ashfield. As the sun continued to shine on that summer day, the shadow of the incident grew longer, casting a dark pall over the town. As the panicked crowd sought help, the gravity of the situation became clear. The calm morning had given way to chaos, a scene that Kirkby-in-Ashfield would never forget. Emergency services were summoned to the Hollinwell site, their sirens piercing through the air, replacing the cheerful tunes that had filled the morning. The sight that greeted them was nothing short of harrowing. Children sprawled on the green field, some unconscious, others in visible distress. Parents and onlookers, their faces etched with fear and confusion, were frantically trying to help. Paramedics, their faces set in grim determination, began to triage the victims. The severity of the situation necessitated an immediate response. Ambulances were quickly filled with the young victims, their sirens wailing as they raced to the nearest hospitals. The usually quiet hospitals of Kirkby-in-Ashfield were soon teeming with activity. Doctors and nurses worked tirelessly, their faces set in concentration as they attended to the flood of patients. The children, once filled with the joy of the day's activities, now lay in hospital beds, their small bodies overwhelmed by the incident. In the immediate aftermath, the town was gripped by a palpable sense of fear and confusion. Parents held their children a little tighter, their minds filled with worry. The incident at Hollinwell had shaken the community to its core. The day that had begun with the promise of music and merriment had turned into a nightmare. The laughter and cheer of the morning had been replaced by the wails of sirens and the hushed whispers of a town trying to make sense of the tragedy. The incident at Hollinwell had left an indelible mark on Kirkby-in-Ashfield. A day that was meant to be a celebration of music and youth had instead become a day of horror and bewilderment. The day that started with music and merriment had turned into a town's worst nightmare. In the wake of the incident, the question on everyone's mind was, what had caused this? As the dust settled on that fateful day in Kirkby and Ashfield, theories began to circulate. Some pointed to environmental causes. The area had been sprayed with pesticides the day before the incident, and some speculated that the children and band members had been exposed to harmful chemicals. But tests of nearby soil and water turned up nothing out of the ordinary. Others suggested it was a case of mass hysteria. The incident had taken place on a hot and stressful day, with hundreds of excited children gathered together. Could the combination of heat, stress, and excitement have sparked a collective psychological response? The idea was not without precedent. There have been documented cases of mass hysteria throughout history, typically in close-knit communities under stress, but again, this theory was difficult to prove. Even more outlandish theories began to circulate. Some floated the idea of a gas leak, while others whispered about a secret government experiment gone wrong. Some even suggested extraterrestrial involvement. But none of these theories held up under scrutiny, and the official investigation was unable to determine a definitive cause. The investigation was exhaustive, involving local authorities, health experts, and even the British military. But despite their best efforts, the results were inconclusive. Was it a freak environmental event, a case of mass hysteria, or something else entirely? The truth remains elusive, and so the Hollinwell incident has passed into the realm of the unexplained. It's one of those strange and unsettling events that resist easy explanation, a puzzle that remains unsolved to this day. Despite extensive investigations, the cause of the Hollinwell incident remains a mystery. Even today, the Hollinwell incident continues to intrigue and perplex researchers. This event, which unfolded on a seemingly average day in Kirkby and Ashfield, has left an indelible mark on the fabric of the community, etching itself into the collective memory of those who bore witness to it. The incident has since evolved into a piece of folklore, a cautionary tale passed down through generations. It's a story that's been told and retold, evolving with each telling, embodying the community's resilience and unity in the face of adversity. The people of Kirkby and Ashfield rallied together, supporting each other through the aftermath and ensuing investigation. Yet the event remains shrouded in a veil of mystery, a puzzle with pieces that don't quite fit together. Theories abound, each offering a different lens through which to view the incident. Some suggest a mass psychogenic illness, a wave of hysteria triggered by stress or fear. Others point to environmental factors, perhaps a chemical leak or exposure to harmful substances. There are those who delve into the realm of the paranormal, exploring explanations that defy conventional understanding. Each theory adds another layer to the enigma, another thread to the intricate tapestry of the Hollinwell incident. Despite the passage of time, the incident remains a focal point for researchers, a knot that resists unraveling. It's a reminder that history is not always a linear narrative, but a complex web of events, intertwining and intersecting in ways that may not always be immediately apparent. The Hollinwell incident, with its unanswered questions and enduring intrigue, is a testament to this complexity. The Hollinwell incident, a mystery that remains unsolved, continues to echo in the annals of history. It serves as a reminder of our constant quest for understanding, our desire to make sense of the world around us, and the resilience of a community in the face of uncertainty. And there you have it, the strange and perplexing tale of the Hollinwell incident. As we delve into the annals of history, we uncover such mysteries that leave us pondering. I'm Mr. Potato, and I appreciate your intrigue. Together, we've journeyed through time, unraveling the threads of this fascinating event. If you enjoyed this journey into history, please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing tales. Until next time, this is Mr. Potato, signing off.